Uh, Good evening to everybody who's present here. Thank you so much, everybody who is here. FEs, SEs, you've been very enthusiastic throughout the week. And for the today's session, the speaker is Hargun Kaur. Okay, her name is Hargun Kaur. She is currently pursuing her computers engineering from NIT Kurukshetra. She has been the MLH fellowship holder fellowship holder for pre-fellowship summer 21 and software engineering track for 21. She has also been selected as Microsoft Engage Mentee 21 from direct mentorship from by my Microsoft team. So she's also the founder for Code Flow. And please, can you just tell more about how you have been doing all this? What is your experience, Argun?
So hey everyone, as my Yuri introduced, I have been contributing to all these stuff from my second year, and I have been into MLH, and I want this conversation to be an interactive thing. So let's move on to the question section because as you all know, I hope you all guys know about Microsoft Engage. Like, can I have little information about what in which year you all are in? FE. FE means first year.
Yeah, FE is first year and HE is second.
Okay, cool. So there are first year students here. So let's start how I got my first internship, and the internship was the first internship which I got was for Microsoft. That internship is scheduled for this particular January, and I got it from Engage. And I had experience of MLH before. I hope you guys know about MLH or Major League Hacking because these people always sponsor hackathons and other things. They offer fellowships, which are 12-week alternative for internship. I was first selected for the pre-fellow, then I moved for the software engineering track, which had 16 people all over the globe and 12 Indians, or two Indians. And for that particular fellowship, I was interning at GitHub USA with the North Carolina team. So this was whole about my journey, how I like exactly which things I did in which particular company or fellowship. So if you have any
Okay.
particular question in particular
Yeah,
thing,
yeah.
do
I'll
let
be
me
asking the questions that we
know.
have. We have a set of
Sure.
questions that we would like to ask you. Okay, so how do one apply for MLH?
Okay. So how do you apply for MLH? That's a pretty basic question. You should all know about MLH Fellowships website. That's mlhfellowships.io. You can search over Google. For that particular application, you just need to write a couple of essays, and you should have a code sample with you. The code sample should be not be very hard code sample. With code sample, I mean a project which is having a knowledge from beginner to intermediate. But as the applications are for too many people, too many people fill it up. So there are only 64 people who get selected for fellowships. So obviously your sample and your essay should speak about yourself, and you should be the one who would be the true representative of your essays. So be careful when writing all these things in. And for MLH fellowship, you just need to fill those application in, then get one technical round. Right, you will have one technical interview round where there will be a credibility check, and the second thing would be a coding interview test, like a technical interview. You would be explaining and giving a walkthrough from whole of your project, and then there would be one interviewer. He would be asking some set of questions, and you would then after that there will be some reviewing of your application, and you will be selected as an MLH fellowship holder.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
I'll ask the other question. What kind of skills are required for
Mhm.
MLH?
Okay. So the skills which are basically required for MLH fellowships, the skills are actually listed in the application itself. You have to choose one proficient skill in which the interviewer is going to ask you questions in. If you choose like JavaScript, TypeScript, C hash, or any skill, then the interviewer would be asking you questions about it. You can however show them a code sample of different particular tech stack. Like if you are using like Flutter code sample, you can show them that, and then say like yeah, I have a like proficiency in this particular domain. So whenever like there is for pre-fellowship, like he will select you on the basis of your proficient languages. And for the open source domain, because the projects are by the company itself, because the companies would be renowned and they will be giving their own projects like AWS, Facebook, or any other company which gives project. And so the tech stacks are and the number of seats which are available with MLH is pre-defined. So it basically depends like how much people they want in.
So
Mhm.
basically, it's a hackathon or
No,
like Google Summer
it's
of Codes.
yeah, it we can say it's kind of Google Summer of Code for open source track, but for software engineering track, it's like you are doing an internship. Cool.
Okay. Okay, so Hargun, how is GSOC different from this?
Okay, so how is GSOC different from MLH fellowships? First of all, like GSOC is basically you have like evaluations and all things. The competitiveness in GSOC is different, but in MLH the thing is little bit like it has a friendly environment. You are actually having a fellowship, right? It's not any competitiveness. Your code would be evaluating, and you have phase one evaluation, you have phase two evaluation in which uh, your mentor would be evaluating you, right? It is more like of progressive thing. Like however like like how you get scholarships in, right? They are for your progress. If you're stuck at anything, you would be like getting to know with your board members, your teammates. Then you will be having some cool sessions, and you will be interacting with them on regularly basis and discussing about what you did, and some couple of coding interview preparation sessions, and of these things which actually combine together for a friendly environment, right? The GSOC has a different kind of approach. You have to reach out to the mentors, and then you have to contribute the to into the like evaluation thing. Like in GSOC you get a predefined weeks, like in what week you are doing which particular issues. And at the last of phase one evaluation, your mentor will be reviewing your progress. But in MLH fellowships, you will be allotted some issues to work on, and you will be given some timeline. It would not be like a timeline. It would be like you need to just contribute to these issues, and when you stop like complete these issues, then you will be allotted with the new issues. It's like a continuous process going on for the 3 months. Cool.
Yeah, okay. I hope everybody is writing down if they
Yeah.
find anything important, right? Okay, so now can I ask you a different question? Can newbies with very basic knowledge also enroll for
Mm-hmm.
this?
Enroll for MLH.
Yes.
Okay, so for MLH, as I earlier said, like you just need an essay, you just need a portfolio or a kind of resume. Then you should have a code sample. If you have like project and a code sample, you can obviously apply, because in my batch, in the pre-fellow batch, I was in my second year and I had a person who did pre-fellowship in first year. So yeah, there was candidates who were doing pre-fellowship in first year, and when I was in my software engineer track, that person went for open source track. So obviously any newbie who has like a project and has little bit of proficiency in and hold in the language for which he applied for, then surely he can go for it. Your air or your particular like tech stack doesn't matter at all.
So
Okay.
basically, can you say a type of
Mhm.
project like sample? I mean, what kind of project should we submit?
Okay,
Like,
so what kind of project? The as I have like went through the applicant like past applicants like and including me, the project should be having a unique idea. It should not be like something you had already seen over YouTube or some like many people copying it right now. Like I have seen like a lot of people submitting applications like clones or anything. It is always suggested that you guys submit the projects which are unique, right? Because it actually, there are a lot of people already applying. There are more than 30 or 60,000 people applying for a single batch, for a single track. So the clone projects, all these pays like rejected applications. So try to avoid these projects. Your project should be having a unique idea. Let me suggest you some kind of ideas. Like if you're like building some developer tools, right? If you're building some kind of tools, like there was one project which had like a library system but with an integration of bots. Yeah, the library system we are all familiar, right? But the integration of bot was a unique idea. Then the person the then one more thing, like most of the people do one mistake that they feel this particular project should be having a great social value, right? It is not that. It the MLH or the like main motive behind asking these code samples is checking your technical skills, right? So it's basically how which project will uh, makes interviewer will recognize your skills.
Okay, so when you're talking about this interview,
Mm-hmm.
okay,
Mm-hmm.
so the interview process, can you elaborate more on that?
Okay, so there will be two interviews. One would be the credibility check, right? After this particular interview, if you get like obviously many people have that second interview. After that, they have like rejection mails and all. There are very least people who get rejection after the first round. The first round is basically they will be asking like, are you 18 years above? Are you willing to contribute these many hours? Are you having proper internet connectivity? And there will be like two or three couple of questions like why do you need to be part of this fellowship and all. And the second part, there would be a coding and like technical code interview in which you will be giving a walkthrough for 15 minutes. 15 minutes means 15 minutes, you would not be getting extra time. In 15 minutes you have to explain your project. It should be in a technical way, like how your project schema is and how the functions flow is, right?
Right.
And after that, in those 15 minutes she will be also or interviewer will be also asking some couple of questions like what is this particular objectives, like any particular thing in, I hope you guys know React. And like there was one question like what is virtual DOMs, these type of question the interview will be asking you, right? These are not very
Right.
tough question, but you should have like some clarity about the language.
Right, right. Now, since you have done so many projects, can you tell us
Mhm.
more about what kind of projects have you done during MLH?
Okay, so the first project which I did was basically a resume, and that was just a beginner project in pre-fellowship. The second project was a hackathon project. We did was a visual call extension for habit tracking, and after that, I just did internship at GitHub North Carolina. So the actions, I hope you guys use GitHub Actions. So my team was that. So I worked in GitHub Action. Like I contributed to set up Node and set up .NET actions, and
Yeah, yeah,
these
yeah.
were basically like uh, projects which GitHub owns.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for that. I'll ask a different question to you. Like, can I know what are the things
Mm-hmm.
that we should keep in mind while networking and finding into the community?
Okay. So first of all, for which particular purpose you need to network, right? Because when you're networking
Yes.
in community, there are different set of people. There are people who want to go in dev, there are people who want to do community building. There are people who want to do product management, and then SD. It's basically upon your choice. And like when you're doing networking, for networking, like if you are like you don't know the person, first of all, like make a connection when you try to do the connection with a note. That's a good way. Then while networking, it's just you and the person. Then you can just ask him like, I'm particularly stuck at this thing, can you just help me? Then surely that person will help you. If you are seeking out for some referrals, try to send your resumes in when you are asking for referrals. That's the thing. And the type of people you are asking, if you're asking me the type of people you should network with, I personally feel like I like those people who are little less in controversies, and actually the people who are more into software engineering or something. Because whenever I need a referral, or if I'm planning to go for a GSOC or anything, like if I went tried to do an MLS, then I followed everyone who was into these particular topics.
Right. Okay. I wanted to ask you, is submitting an old repository for a code
Hmm.
sample okay?
Yeah,
Like
it is.
if it
It is.
describes our skills, okay, and
Hmm.
if it is little bit old, like say 6 months or 7 months, so will that be
It is
okay?
okay. Yeah, it is okay. The repository is 6 months old because not only the repository, like GitHub team will be reviewing your whole, like the MLS team will be reviewing your whole GitHub, right?
Okay.
So when they particularly asked me for a code samples, I submitted my code sample, which was like 3 months back. Then
Okay.
I tried asked him like, can I switch my sample to what the sample which I recently created? They said like, no, we actually review the whole GitHub. So that was the thing.
Okay. So how many days prior were you planning for MLH?
2 months, because it is like a first come first serve, and then you have rolling basis. So most of the applications get rolled to the next batch. So there are, I think so, 10,000 or 30,000. I don't know number of applications getting reviewed, but yeah, it is very screwed number when like
Right.
30,000
Yes,
people
it is.
applying and you are only selecting the 64, or in software engineering the numbers is screwed to 16. So yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's a huge number and a huge competition. But when
Hmm.
it comes down to beginner's point of view or prerequisites,
Yeah,
what is your comment on that?
for beginners basically they should work on a project. When they are working on that particular project, they should know what they are doing, because they are not expecting you to be a very good coder. They are expecting that you should know what you are coding. You should be familiar with the things you are using, and if you are using trying to like follow up things with the tutorials and all, then you should know like how your things are. When you are doing a like coding review, then a code walkthrough, like you should make them familiar with how made this function, and this function flows to the other function. Then that's how like they select people who have actually great knowledge about their own code. It's not about that you should be knowing everything in this world. It's more about like you should know your own code.
Right, your own project.
Yeah.
Right. So, which one was easier to get into, open source track or explorer track?
Explorer track has been like it's not no longer continued. It was changed to pre-fellow. Now there is no pre-fellow, and there is a new track introduced, which is prep track. Yeah, that's an easier batch, because after prep you get a like after prep you get particular advantage that whenever you apply for fellowships, you will be preferred over the other candidates. And open source and software engineering are like categorized as full-time fellowships, but the other ones like prep and pre-fellow, they are like short fellowships.
Okay. Okay. So, can you tell us more about the internship experience that you had at GitHub?
Hmm. Okay, so I was actually working with the GitHub North Carolina team. That's there was like multiple kind of projects, like multiple teams on which fellows were working on. So my team was actions team. So we were like into how to make these actions more efficient, and we introduced like some of the features, and we did a lot of refactoring and solved couple of bugs. And yeah, because the experience was basically we were mentored with the engineering managers. We were directly working with the developers of the projects. There were regular team sync ups, and there was weekly meetings where we have to present our work also. Like we did particular these things, right?
Right. So I guess pretty much you have answered all the questions, covered all
Mhm.
the questions that I had. If anybody from the audience has, can we? Yeah, Abdul is asking. So when did you start coding?
Okay, so if you like asking me like when exactly I started coding, I was familiar with HTML CSS when I was in 8th standard, because our school had these subjects in. Then 8, 9, 10 I did HTML CSS. Then in 11th we had that IP subject in which we had like SQL and Java. Then I left it, and yeah, in before before getting into the college, I did couple of C plus plus.
Right. So Abdul is also asking ki walkthrough of your project that you submitted.
Uh,
I think you gave
okay,
that.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I wanted to also know, and can you please talk about MLH externship a little bit?
MLH externship.
Yes.
Okay, if you're asking like that MLH externship is basically MLH software engineering track. There is no like separate like GitHub externship is a part of MLH software engineering track, because the MLH fellowships are now sponsored with GitHub. So they named this software engineering track as also like GitHub externship, right? So it has like no concern with the externships going on in India, because they people like they don't knew like there was pre-existing externships in India which is named as GitHub externships. But
Right.
MLS software engineering track can also be known as GitHub externship, because you
Okay.
will be interning at GitHub.
Right. Yeah. So if anybody has questions, they can come up, guys.
I have one. So right now I'm learning full stack development using React.js, and now since I'm learning full stack development, so like you said, they can ask what is virtual DOM. So I might not have any idea because the courses that are online they do not give in-depth knowledge of what is there in
Mhm.
the language.
There are some
So
repositories like over internet itself, like they have like couple of questions on web. So whenever
okay,
you go for these interviews, try to like revise the concept with these assignments and these MCQs and question answers. You
okay,
can like search
thanks.
for most asked questions in web or in React in particular language.
Can you suggest some websites where we can start? I mean, where we can prepare for the interview or something?
Sure. Like there are like, let me find one. There was actually one repository which I find myself very useful. Let me search for it.
Can you please put the link in the chat box of the report?
Yes, guys, she has put the link in the chat box. And
Thank
anyone
you.
else who wants to ask something?
Yeah, try to search about these kind of repositories which are like by some GitHub user, because they actually know like which type of questions are being asked.
So I guess you've almost covered everything that we have asked from everyone as well. Yeah. So
Mhm.
Girija has a question. What were the beginner friendly projects
Okay,
to
so beginner
start
friendly
with?
projects I started with. These were basic apps like you can contribute to any of the websites which like any person is building for events. These were my beginner friendly apps. Then I went for some projects which were like having databases, and then the projects then there was basically I started contributing to open source more. So I never did projects as a whole. So my exposure was increased to larger extent because of the open source projects.
How can a beginner start looking for a good repository to start contributing in GitHub?
Okay, so basically when I like figure out like which kind of repositories are there on GitHub, so there was like repositories can be divided into some repositories which are owned by individuals, some repositories which are owned by organizations like small scale organizations, some repositories which are owned by some large scale or some tech giants or companies which are having like great, great set of people, right? So I contributed in these all like some projects which were owned by individuals, because in these projects you will be getting help from the individual itself. He will be helping you out for fixing those bugs. And so in bigger friendly projects I contributed there. Then I went to organizations like, as I said, like Codeflow is also having its open source. Then Tech Phantoms was there at that time, in which I contributed to their website. And I learned like how to join like work with databases and all. Then I went for like some great organizations like Chef, Microsoft, and all these things. Yeah, so that's how you divide the things in.
So how many pull
Mhm.
requests should you make a day average? Like how much do you make or used to?
How many pull requests I make on a like on
Like yeah, or in a day.
in a day? Okay,
Yeah.
so it's just completely on my mood, because I when I was contributing in Microsoft, that project like took 3 months to contribute in. So the my one pull request took me 3 months because the maintainer was on holidays or something. So it's a like a patient thing. One day pull requests are done when you are in contributing into like beginner friendly projects. When you're contributing to large scale projects, your one contribution may take like 3 months, may take like 1 month. It's just unknown thing.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Hello.
Mm-hmm.
And like before MLS, did you contribute in any SOC like Summer of Code or Winter of Code? Did you take part in any of them?
I just applied for the applications. Then I know like everyone is getting selected for these. Then I never
Yeah,
like
yeah,
went. Then I never
yeah.
went in contributing to
Yeah.
these, because like when everyone was getting selected, then I like certainly lose interest. That was like my personal interest reasons. But yeah, and then I never contributed to it, because in the starting I was interested in GSSOC. Then I also got to know like every participant is getting selected, and then I
Yeah, the girl script. Yeah.
then I also lose interest over there. Wait, no.
I understand.
Yeah.
Uh, okay, so very competitive. Okay, fine. Okay, so does anybody have any questions? Any more questions? Or should we wrap it up? If you have, you can come up with the questions, or you can put it in the chat box. Both are fine. Okay, no worries. Since you don't have any questions left, thank you so much, Hargun, for answering almost all the questions and explaining it to us so pretty much nicely. Yes, things are very much clear now, and you've given a um, direction towards it. So thank you so much for that, Hargun. Thank you for being our
Cool,
guest today.
cool. See you guys.